Welcome to this comprehensive guide on ensuring your spousal visa petition succeeds the first time. Today we will walk through timelines, whether you need a lawyer, exactly what evidence to collect, how to meet financial requirements, and the official resources that keep you on track. To set expectations, consular processing for County Route 1 or IR1 typically takes 18 to 24 months or longer, so starting right away is essential. Let's begin by previewing what we'll cover. First, here is our agenda so you know what to expect. We will start with a big picture overview, then move into the timing and urgency of filing. Next, we will discuss the lawyer versus do-it-yourself decision. After that, we will detail the evidence you need to prove a bona fide marriage and how to meet financial solvency via the Affidavit of Support. We will then share the official resources to rely on, followed by a concrete step-by-step checklist. Subsequently, we will visualize the journey with helpful diagrams, test your understanding with a short quiz, and finish with key takeaways and a wrap-up. Next, let us set the stage. Once your marriage is official, you can start the process. The spousal visa route is more of a marathon than a sprint, with multiple agencies reviewing your case over many months. The key is to start strong, stay organized, and reduce avoidable errors. With that perspective, let's talk about timing and why filing immediately matters. Moving forward, your first actionable step is to file the I-130 as soon as your marriage certificate is in hand. The overall process takes considerable time, so earlier submission means your case begins moving sooner. Treat each form and document like a component of a larger administrative project. Use a master checklist and a clear timeline to avoid missing details or deadlines. The visual shows the typical sequence from filing through USCIS review, the National Visa Center stage, the consular interview, and, finally, entry to the United States. Now, let's visualize the long arc of this journey. The timeline begins with the marriage certificate and immediate I-130 filing. Then you will wait for receipts and initial processing. USCIS adjudication may follow over several months, with potential requests for evidence. After approval, the case moves to the National Visa Center for Fees, DS-260, Affidavit of Support, and civil document uploads, followed by review. Next, the medical exam and interview are scheduled. Finally, the embassy interview takes place, and, upon approval, the visa is issued and you travel to the United States to enter as a permanent resident spouse. Your timing may vary, but this roadmap helps you anticipate the major stages. Transitioning to a common question: should you hire an immigration lawyer? If your case is straightforward, many applicants successfully complete the process on their own, by using official guides and carefully following instructions. However, any complexities, such as prior overstays, criminal issues, or significant age or cultural differences, can trigger higher scrutiny. In those scenarios, hiring a specialist in marriage-based immigration and consular processing is strongly recommended. Whether you proceed with counsel or not, be realistic about the cost or time investment required to do this right. Moving on, here is a direct comparison. On the DIY side, you can save significant costs and maintain full control, but it requires disciplined self-review and a high tolerance for detail. The risk is missing nuanced requirements if your case is not entirely simple. On the attorney side, you gain expert guidance on potential pitfalls, strategies to avoid requests for evidence, and time savings, but professional fees can be substantial. Choose based on the complexity of your situation and your capacity to manage a long, detail-oriented process. Next, let's address proving your relationship is genuine. The government needs to see evidence that your lives are intertwined beyond surface-level gestures. Include joint documents like leases, bank accounts, insurance policies, and where applicable, tax records. Add communication histories, such as message logs and call records, as well as travel itineraries and passport stamps that demonstrate time spent together. Social proof, including photos and affidavits from friends and family, can help, and outlining future plans for housing, finances, and family shows continuity. Organize everything chronologically with clear labels. Avoid relying solely on staged photos. Instead, diversify your evidence set. Continuing on, adopt a system for collecting and labeling evidence. First, create a shared folder structure by category. Then, save new evidence each month, including readable exports of chats and call logs. Use a consistent file naming scheme that begins with the date, followed by the category and a brief description. Add short captions that explain the context of your photos. Maintain a written relationship timeline that connects each document to a specific milestone. Finally, back up your records in at least 2 places to prevent data loss. Now let's discuss financial solvency through the Affidavit of Support. The U.S. citizen petitioner typically must meet at least 125% of the federal poverty guidelines for the household size. If your income falls short, you can supplement with qualifying assets or enlist a joint sponsor. Prepare evidence such as tax transcripts, W-2s or 1099s, recent pay stubs, an employment verification letter, and documentation for assets like savings or investments. Thresholds change annually, so always confirm the current amounts on the USCIS 864P page rather than relying on older examples. Before we proceed, here is a sample snapshot of possible household income thresholds at roughly 125% of the federal poverty guidelines for illustration only. Do not rely on these figures. Always confirm current amounts using the USCIS 864P. The actual required numbers vary by year and sometimes by location if a separate chart applies. This table exists to give you a rough sense of scale while you plan your finances. Furthermore, rely heavily on official resources. Use USCIS for forms like the I-130 and I-864 and to check processing updates. The U.S. Department of State provides step-by-step guidance for the National Visa Center process, DS-260, and embassy-specific instructions. Your embassy's website will list the country-specific documents and interview guidance you must follow. Additionally, find approved panel physicians for the required medical exam through official listings. Always cross-check instructions as forms and policies can be updated. Next, here is a practical checklist. Obtain certified marriage documents and keep quality scans. File the I-130 with a complete, well-organized evidence package. Track your USCIS receipt numbers and maintain records. After approval, pay National Visa Center fees and complete the DS-260 online. Prepare the I-864 with all necessary financial evidence and secure a joint sponsor if required. Upload your civil documents exactly as instructed by your embassy. Schedule the medical exam with an approved physician. Before the interview, assemble a binder with organized evidence, clear timelines, and original documents. During the interview, respond clearly and consistently. After approval, collect the visa, pay any required immigrant fee, and travel to the United States. Keep thorough records for any future filings. Now let's examine the consular processing flow. Starting from the marriage certificate, you file the I-130 during USCIS processing. If the petition is not immediately approvable, you might receive a request for evidence, or, in rare cases, a denial requiring a response or refiling. If approved, your case moves to the National Visa Center for fee payment, DS-260, and affidavits of support preparation. After uploading civil documents, the NVC determines whether the case is documentarily qualified. If not, you correct issues and resubmit. If qualified, the embassy schedules the interview. You complete the medical exam, attend the interview, and await a decision. If the visa is not issued, you may receive administrative processing under Section 221G. Submit requested items and await the final decision. If issued, you receive the passport with the visa, travel to the United States, and upon entry, become a conditional or immediate resident depending on marriage length. Quick knowledge check. The question is, when should you file the I-130 for your spouse? The options are A. Immediately after receiving your marriage certificate. B. After you collect a year of photos together. C. 6 months after marriage to show stability. And D. After the medical exam. You may pause the video now to think about your answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is A. Immediately after receiving your marriage certificate. Filing starts the adjudication clock, and given the lengthy average timeline, prompt action helps minimize separation time. Here is the second question. Which evidence most strongly demonstrates commingled lives? Your options are A. A joint residential lease. B. Separate addresses with frequent visits. C. Only travel selfies. And D. Love letters without any shared documents. You may pause the video now to consider your answer. We will review the correct option in the next section. The correct answer is A. A joint residential lease. Shared obligations such as housing and finances typically provide stronger evidence of a bona fide marriage than photos or letters alone. Before we wrap the planning segment, here is a 6-month preparation view. In the first month, set up your folder system, scan documents, and file the I-130. The second month focuses on gathering financial documentation. The third month is for drafting your relationship timeline and adding meaningful captions to photos. In the fourth month, monitor USCIS updates and set up your approach for the National Visa Center stage. The fifth month is dedicated to assembling your Affidavit of Support package and identifying a joint sponsor if necessary. The sixth month is an excellent time to create a mock interview binder and rehearse clear, consistent answers. As we transition to the final segments, please note this important disclaimer. This video provides general information and is not legal advice. Immigration situations vary widely. If your case involves any complex factors, consult a qualified immigration attorney who specializes in marriage-based immigration and consular processing for personalized guidance. To emphasize the essentials, file the I-130 immediately. Assemble diverse evidence of a genuine marriage. Meet affidavits of support requirements by verifying current thresholds and using a joint sponsor if necessary. Strictly follow official instructions and prepare thoroughly for the consular interview. In summary, begin immediately. Organize your process around clear milestones and gather layered evidence that demonstrates your real-life integration. Plan your finances early and verify the current affidavits of support thresholds. Rely on official instructions from USCIS and the State Department. Finally, treat the interview like a final exam by preparing and practicing thoroughly. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like the video, share it with your partner, and subscribe for more immigration guides. What is your biggest remaining question? Share your thoughts in the comments. We would love to help in future episodes.